Welcome to You Wager This Week. I am Gabriel Morency, sit alongside the raging redhead Cam Stewart, and we're fired up for a season of football. College football has already started. NFL football is around the corner. No better place to lay it down than youwager.eu. I'm ready to rock and roll. They've got a big-ass survivor pool. Winner's going to get like $50,000. The deadline to enter is September the 10th, all right? So you don't have to get that first game in if you don't want to play the Patriots or the Chiefs. But last year I won $5,000 in a survivor pool, and I plan on playing in a couple of survivor pools this year. And I tell you what, Cam, $50,000 from YouWager sounds pretty freaking good right now.
Sounds amazing. We can buy some more property.
Yeah. That's right. The 2017 football season, I'm planning on building an empire this year. I told myself the other night, Morency, why can't I become a millionaire this year? I have the opportunity, I have the knowledge, and I have the places to lay it down and win. So we're fired up to work with YouWager this year. We'll be doing a weekly podcast for as long as they want to have us. All right. We'll see if we're able to get through the year. But thanks to everyone over at YouWager. We connected with YouWager at the IFBC with Sportsbook Review. They had the International Football Betting Conference in Costa Rica. It was a great time.
Very good trip for you in Costa Rica.
Yeah, very, very successful trip down there. We did a presentation, and word on the street is there could be another presentation and another event and conference built around March Madness this year. And I got to tell you what, you don't have to twist my arm to come back to Costa Rica. But the beautiful thing about online betting is you don't have to be in Costa Rica. You don't have to be in Las Vegas. You can be anywhere, and you can lay it down. I'm fired up, Cam. College football has already started, but I'm ready for some NFL football right now. We'll talk a little college football before we're done, and we'll check the lines over at YouWager for the big games this week. But I'm fired up for some NFL football, Cam.
Me too. It's going to be a great season, Gabe. You hit college pretty hard. Great, successful week, and we hope to do the same with the NFL. I'll tell you, really interesting lines week one. We see some real big numbers coming out of the gate.
All right, so let's jump right in right now. We're about a week away, a little more than a week away from kickoff right now. The Kansas City Chiefs and the New England Patriots are the first game up Thursday night, the annual Super Bowl champion. I've been around a long time, all right? I'm a lot older than I look. I know I look like I'm 24, but, I've been betting on NFL football since 1982. And I remember in the old days, Cam, it used to be free money. You used to bet against the team that won the Super Bowl the previous year because they would always be overvalued. But if you look at the history of this Thursday night game, man, I got to tell you, the Super Bowl champ has kicked the crap out of the teams. So it's tempting. You want to take the points, you better be careful. Now, right now, YouWager have the New England Patriots listed as 8.5-point favorites in this football game. Kansas City getting 8.5, total 48. Let's talk about this from a survivor perspective. A lot of people are going to consider the New England Patriots. I'm not willing to do it in this spot, Cam.
No, I aren't either. I ranked the games, Gabe. Probably have this one ranked number 3 for all the survivor picks, but I'll tell you, very, very dangerous. The Edelman injury, Kansas City historically plays New England very, very tight. I think it's just too many points, and you don't want a sweat job week one. I could see this one, maybe the Patriots winning by a touchdown. I'd lean to Kansas City with the points, but this game will not be my survivor. I think we got better options out there.
Yeah, it's a dangerous football
Very
game.
dangerous. I like the total to the over maybe. 48 is something I think I can go over with.
I don't know what to expect from the Kansas City Chiefs this year. There's a lot of people that are down on the Chiefs, and there's a lot of people that think that, the Chiefs are the Chiefs. Andy Reid wins double-digit games on a yearly basis, but he also seems to lose to the Patriots by about a touchdown.
Every time.
Yeah. Does anyone think the Patriots are going to blow them out?
I don't.
To me, I don't know, they win 24-17 or something like that.
Yep, I could see the Chiefs hanging with these guys all day long. We talk about the thing about New England, they're going to score points, but I think the Kansas City Chiefs can actually put up some points on the board. Yeah, they might get 17 or 20, and the Chiefs' defense is good enough to hold the Patriots, I think, under 30, Gabe. I have a slight lean to the dog in this game. You know me and Pooches, I like the 8.5.
A big key here is if Kareem Hunt's a big hot fantasy prospect right now.
You got him in your draft.
I did. I took him in the third round of a fantasy football league draft, but he's the number one running back right now. All right, they like him better than West. C.J. Spiller, please. I'm amazed that C.J. Spiller's still in the National Football League.
Me too.
With all due respect to C.J. Spiller. I'll never forget when C.J. Spiller was on the Buffalo Bills. I was like, man, give this guy the ball. He's awesome. He's fast. He can rush for 2,000 yards. And if Doug Marrone got there, and he goes, I got to tell you, man, I'm going to give C.J. Spiller the ball so much, he's going to puke. So literally and figuratively, we gave him the ball like 7 times in a row once in a game, and he puked. Like he couldn't handle it.
He's been. I got to be honest.
I don't want to pick on Clemson guys. They're always hurt.
Let's go over what it is. Clemson guys, for the most part, they're hurt. They'll disappoint you. They'll let you down.
They're good college players.
C.J. Spiller has been, let's call it a horrible pro. He's barely hanging on right now.
I'm amazed you're still in the league.
Oh, he was with Seattle? Awful.
Yeah. So, key is, can Kareem Hunt run the ball successfully in this football game to sort of eat some of the clock up? Because Andy Reid doesn't want to get into a track meet here. Mm-hmm. Total's 48. I don't really love this game. I never really love these first Thursday night games. I don't have to force anything because I see a lot of other games I like. I'll tell you right now, for betting purposes, I'll probably have the Kansas City Chiefs on a teaser.
That's what I was going to say. Plus 15.5 over 41. Yeah, that's where you're going, right?
I like that. And even bank it. I'll have the Kansas City Chiefs on a 7-point teaser up to plus 15.5 with, let's say, the Arizona Cardinals plus 7 in a game that's probably going to come down to the wire. All right, so we both agree. I don't want to take the Patriots. Some people are going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not taking the Chiefs survivor. I'm not taking the Patriots survivor here.
No, it's not going to be a top game on the board. I think there's better games out there. But, Gabe, in this game, though, 8.5, very, very tempting to me because I think the Patriots will probably win by 6 or 7. I think that's a big number at 8.5. Give me the Chefs.
youwager.eu. As we speak right now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 2.5-point road favorites at Miami. Totals 45.5. This obviously is not a survivor pick.
No.
Unless you're a hardcore Dolphin fan or a hardcore Buck fan. And listen, when it comes to survivor, I do believe in rolling the dice. We'll discuss this a little bit as we go on through each game here. We'll go individually through each contest. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I lean with the Bucs in this game. The Bucs are a trendy team. You got Winston versus Cutler. Cutler makes his debut. I'm not a big Dirk Cutter fan with Tampa Bay. I thought they were going to be a playoff team last year, and I was wrong about that. I'm not jumping on the bandwagon. I think any one of those teams could win this division for the most part. I'm not taking this in the survivor game. If I had to bet it, I'd take Tampa Bay. Total's 45.5. Bucs favored by 2.5, Tampa.
Yeah, I look for an excuse. Usually, you know me, Gabe. I like money line dogs. I like the points, but not this time. Cutler in Miami. I'm not really sold on that. 2.5 is not enough for me to pull the trigger. As for Tampa Bay, we know about Hard Knocks. We know about this team every single year. They're the darlings. Ooh,
they're always the darlings.
You know what? Yeah, this year, though, more people think Tennessee are the darlings. Another team. This is a great statement game. Tampa Bay, battle of the state of Florida. Go in there and punch Miami in the face. Gimme, the Buccaneers. I'd probably take it on the money line. It'll be a tight game, but I think Tampa Bay can get there and win by a field goal.
Thing is, can Jameis Winston get better?
Yes.
He has to get better. Now it's into year 3. It's time for him to take that next step. The Buccaneers lose a lot of close football games. And, they lost a lot of close football games in Winston's rookie year. And I'm like, you know what? If they could just sort of, they're close. But then last year it was the same thing. They lost a lot of close football games. They have to learn how to win these close football games. Speaking of close football games, the odds makers over at YouWager, Cam, they've got Arizona and the Detroit Lions listed as a pick 'em. Totals 47.5. I like the over of this game. 47.5. I got 27-24 in this game. I think this comes down to the wire, whoever has the ball last, but I think Arizona are a better football team than the Detroit Lions. This is not a survivor game, obviously, but for betting purposes, I do lean Arizona here, and not just because I'm wearing an Arizona Cardinal jersey right now.
You're representing the Cardinals, but no, I'm with you. Detroit at home, I think this team has a lot of weakness, Gabe. I'm not really sold. Who cares about Stafford and the money? As for Arizona, they have to prove. The good news for them is when you're coming west to east, you hope to do it early, so it's not.
I like that John Brown came alive last week in the preseason.
That's another good point.
They have to win to break out.
The thing is about Arizona, a huge advantage against Detroit's secondary in this game.
Yes.
I believe in everyone saying weak receivers. Detroit's secondary is not good. If Carson Palmer stays upright, they will score. I would take the Arizona Cardinals, and I love where Morency's going with this. Sometimes we disagree on totals. You know what? You tease Arizona to +7 over 40.5. Sign me up.
I love that teaser. Arizona +7
over 40.5.
Yeah, over 40.5. And you're telling me even at 47.5, Come on, man. You don't think that this game could be 24-24 going into the fourth quarter?
I think it could be 21-21 at the half.
Yeah, you're already going to get there. I think it's a little bit low, this number. I like the over of this football game. Hard to take a game pick 'em and say, oh, this is a big survivor.
I wouldn't touch in this game with a 10-foot pole. If you do, you got big ones.
All right, so let's talk about a game here.
This is a
in which
game.
This is going to be one of the most played survivor picks of the week, without a doubt. The Atlanta Falcons, 7-point favorites, going into Chicago. The total is 51. Atlanta Falcons looking to avoid that perennial Super Bowl hangover that we see teams that lose in the Super Bowl always seem to have. I don't think it's happening for Atlanta this year, guys. And when I say I don't think it's happening for Atlanta, I mean I don't think that they're just going to fall flat on their face after losing the Super Bowl last year. They're too good. A lot of teams that make the Super Bowl, everything sort of went right for them. Mm-hmm. Guys had career years. Like you look at Carolina, 2 years ago. They weren't lucky, but they had a lot of guys that had career years. They were an older team. Everything just sort of fell into place for them.
And what about Denver? When Denver got there, they played a New England team that was beat up in that game. That's how they got there.
They barely won with Peyton Manning. They scored they put up the least amount of yards of a Super Bowl winner ever. I'm just telling you, Ken. Matt Ryan's still damn good.
You're damn right. And the weapons they have.
Yeah, Julio Jones is the best wide receiver in the National Football League, bar none.
They didn't even talk about Gabriel.
You got Tyler Gabriel. You got Mohamed Sanu. You've got Austin Hooper at tight end.
Underrated tight end.
Your running game, Coleman and Freeman.
Amazing. Two-headed beast.
And the thing is, on defense, they're known as an offensive team. And they were better defensively than they were given credit for last year, because they put up so many freaking points. They were scoring 30 points a game. I mean, they scored 35 points in a row, I think, like 6 or 7 weeks in a row last year. So their defense gave up some yards and some points. Their defense is actually better. Look. What was amazing is they freaking terrorized Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
They did.
For 58 minutes.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, it's one of these deals where it wasn't like the defense didn't play well. They were making plays, and it was crazy, man. They came so close to stopping that final drive a couple of times as well, and they just didn't. Like, Brady and the Patriots are just that damn good. But I'm telling you, man, I think the Atlanta Falcons can make it back to the Super Bowl this year. I literally do.
They're they're going to be a wicked team. They're still pissed off about last year's Super Bowl. Gabe, I'm a different man this year. I'm a changed man. I'm looking at the spread, and the first thing you say, hey, with Cam the Bear, he's going to take 7 with Chicago. I'll tell you something. I watched every Chicago preseason. Their defense sucks. It is going to be one of the worst defenses in the league. Then you talk about their offense. Hey, Howard, great, but unproven players almost at every single position. I'm looking at Atlanta. You wager, no juice too. It's -7 to a +100.
Plus 100.
I'm telling you, I'm with the Falcons. I actually believe the Falcons can go into Chicago and win that game by 13 to 17 points.
Listen, the Bears have showed a few signs in the preseason. Trubisky's actually shown he's all right. Except, that he has potential.
It's preseason.
But Trubisky's not playing in this game. Mike Glennon is.
Exactly.
And I'm not a big fan of Mike Glennon as the new GM Ryan Pace is. And I think you agree with me on this one, Ken. You're not a big Mike Glennon fan either.
Mike Glennon hasn't done anything to prove to be the starting quarterback. I got to be honest with you. If I was Chicago, you paid all that money for the guy. He will lose his job eventually. We will see Mitch Trubisky because you know what? Glennon blows.
You just should have started Mark Sanchez at this point in time. The Bears are paying Trubisky money. They're paying Glennon big money. They're paying Sanchez $6 million a year. It makes no sense. You could have just made Mark Sanchez the starter.
Save money.
Until Trubisky is ready. But I tell you what, the thing is, Cam, you know, this game and the Pittsburgh game, which we'll get to, everyone's going to be on the Atlanta Falcons in a survivor situation. I like not being on the obvious games. Remember last year, Miami Dolphins in Seattle.
Trust me, I was watching that game. We were
that was week 2.
No, it's opener. Russell Wilson, remember? Because he got hurt. Yeah. The Miami defensive line beat him up early in the game. He almost didn't get through the game. If it wasn't for a last-second touchdown by the Seahawks, almost 90% of people in survivor pools would have been knocked out. I know both of them. Like, I'm a Seahawk fan, and I'm actually cheering against it because we could have won a lot of money early, buddy. Very, very lucky.
And listen, I was in a survivor pool last year with 50 people. The YouWager pool this year,
it's a good pool.
It's probably going to be about 5,000 people or so, about $50,000 to the winner. But I've been in big contests before, and people think en masse. People don't like to deviate from the pack very much. Gamblers, fantasy players, political voters.
I'd say especially fantasy players. They
They
love their lists.
Oh, no, I know.
My list, your list.
They love their freaking rankings, man. They get locked into this stuff. But basically, look, if there's like 5,000 people in the YouWager pool, let's say there's 4,000 or 5,000 people in this pool, there's going to be thousands of people with the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, probably about 2,500.
In week one, which makes me not want to have the Atlanta Falcons and cheer and root against the Atlanta Falcons.
I'm telling you something, Gabe. It's probably, I would rank it the second best game for the Survivor Pool week one. I'm with you. I have another game that we're going to look to when we go through the board. It won't be this one, but I'll tell you, the Falcons should go into Chicago and get it done. They're a professional football team, and they should win by 2 touchdowns. Do you not agree?
Yeah, I don't see how.
Like, how do you bet? Like, I'm just saying, I want to take the points with the Bears. I can't.
Well, I'll tell you right now that the teaser we were talking about earlier is looking a little better right now to me. Kansas City Chiefs plus 15.5. Atlanta Falcons pick them.
That sounds. I don't want to say cash the ticket. That
So
sounds good.
yeah. So the Chiefs just need to hang. But within 15.5.
Yes.
Yeah. The chefs, come on.
Yeah, just get in
You
there.
can just hang in there with a 15.5 in the opening Thursday night. And then, boom, I get the Atlanta Falcons as a pick
Actually,
next Sunday.
and your other one I like too. You can make turn Arizona to +7.
Oh, I love that.
You turn both. Turn Arizona to +7, and the Falcons down to a pick. That's a nice 2-game teaser too.
Yeah, we're real experts. In every game, we're like, tease it.
It's week one. We gotta slowly get in there.
Yeah, we want to tease it. Tease it. Yeah, but I tell you what, the Arizona tease to +7, or, even Detroit tease to +7. That game's coming down to the wire, guys. That game's coming down to the wire.
It is.
But I like Arizona +7 there. I think the Atlanta Falcons are the play. I don't have a problem with the Survivor. I'll consider it. I'm going to be in multiple Survivor pools this year. I'll consider the Atlanta Falcons as one of the picks. The Bears aren't beating them. One thing we will note, crappy teams. Look, the San Francisco 49ers have won their opening game 6 years in a row. And then they go 2-14 after.
I can tell you one thing, Gabe. I'm not taking Carolina with my Survivor pick against San Francisco. That's a dangerous game.
It could be, and we'll get to that. I know you're high on the Niners. Well, high, but
well,
at least,
I think they're better than people think.
Yeah. So the total at YouWager right now, 51 for the Falcons in the Bears game. Falcons were free money to the over last year. I'm not in a hurry to rush to bet it, but I tell you, once again, a teaser, Atlanta Falcons to a pick 'em over 44.
Yeah, that should get there.
Over 44.
Yeah.
All right, so last year I took the Houston Texans. Last year I did take the Houston Texans.
Sweat job.
As my Survivor pick. And I believe it was against the very same Jacksonville Jags, and it was a sweat job, actually. Yet I got it done. And one of the reasons why I took the Texans last year in the first game, because I knew other people weren't going to do it. And, I remember watching that Miami-Seattle game thinking, dear God, man, pretty much 45 guys out of 50 have the Seahawks here. Come on, Miami. Come on, Miami. And I ended up winning the Survivor League. So I have confidence coming into this year.
Actually, I remember, because you were the commissioner, too. You're like, do you want to hedge it? It was 2 of you guys left. Remember? And I go, maybe you should just split it. You go, nah, I'm all in. Give me all the money. Good decision.
Yeah, well, the guy,
he gave you a lowball offer, too. That's not cool.
No, I lowballed him.
Oh, actually, yeah, you did lowball it. He's like, give me this. Nope.
He offered to split it, and I said, it's against my nature to want to split it. So I said,
you lowballed him, man. Hey, you won the pool, man. Smart decision.
I told him we're 12 weeks. We were in the week 12, and I told him I'll give you $1,500 right now
instead of 25.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, screw that, right?
No, I started at 1,000.
Oh yeah.
You know what? You know what I did though? I said, what would Rick from Pawn Stars do?
He'd start low.
Yeah, so I was like 1,000, and I told the guy, listen, I need the money.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing. I said, I'd split it with you, but I need the money. And the whole thing is, I was the commissioner. I didn't have the money.
You're like our commissioner. Commissioners love to spend the money.
So that's why, if you're watching this right now, it's great. YouWager have the money.
Exactly. Great call.
Yeah, you don't want to trust me with a $50,000.
What I like about the site, too, it's just
nice and clean.
Yeah, nice and clean. So many of these news sites, it's like they got so much stuff, I can't read it. And we're getting older. Sometimes we got to look at, you said it. Remember? LASIK surgery. I can't see the lines in the sports book anymore. That is a nice, clean site. I'm going to tell you something about this Houston game, Gabe. I think Houston will win, but I'm not sure if they're going to cover that number.
So Houston Texans laying, YouWager have the Texans laying 5 points. The total is 40. I don't know. Everyone's talking about what a mess the Jags are.
Yeah, but give me 5 points.
Almost feels like I'm walking into a trap.
That's how I feel. That is the game. I actually hate to say it. We know the Jags aren't a good team, but hey, who still? Is it Savage and Houston having to win by 6 points?
Tom Savage has looked good in the preseason.
I think I'm going to take the old Jaguars in that game. I think it's too many points in a real tight game.
Leonard Fournette will make his debut, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. NFL is easy, but the dude never plays.
Chris Ivory, he might have something to say about that.
I like the Texans here.
You think they'll win by more than 5?
That's a tough game.
That's a tough game. Hey,
I'm talking from a survivor
perspective. Where would you rank this game? Probably the 4th best game, maybe?
Yeah. So far, number 1, what I'd have to say is the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
I'm not in love with the other ones. I think other people can. You and I hate the Patriots, so other people would probably say the Patriots are a strong survivor.
True.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm not in love with it. It is what it is.
I think the Texans is a survivor, though. Very dangerous game. It's too dangerous for week 1.
It's a sweatshop. All right, so let's get to another game in week 1. You wager line right now. The Buffalo Bills, -7, -105. Total's 41.5.
-7?
I got to be honest with you. My plan, I was locked in to say, you know what? I don't give a crap. I'm playing the Buffalo Bills and all my survivor pools in week 1 against the Jets. Because people are going to be scared. They're going to go, oh, you know what? I can take the Falcons. I can take the Steelers. I'm not going to take the Bills. I do believe that the New York Jets can go 0-16 this year.
Yeah, I love it. They are bad, but do you really want to lay 7 with the Buffalo Bills, Gabe, week 1? No, thanks.
No, not with the lineup that they have going on right now.
No.
That's the thing. With the lineup that they have going on right now.
Oh, yeah, before all the injuries, I would have almost made that a survivor pick. Do you not agree? No, we looked at that game and went, there's no way the Jets win. Now I'm starting to think the Jets cover 7. I still think the Bills win the game, though.
I still think the Bills could win the game. Now, listen, as of right now, it's tough. It's tough for us to say, yes, the Buffalo Bills are going to win this game for sure. We don't know who the quarterback is going to be.
Probably Peterman.
Tyrod Taylor's in concussion protocol right now. TJ Yates is in concussion protocol right now, although Mr. Peterman...
Love it. Hey, I'll tell you something, though.
Nate Peterman.
We've been talking about Nate Peterman from Pitt and how the times the Pitt quarterbacks have screwed up. This is the one Pitt quarterback
he's good.
Who's going to be good in a pro-style offense because he gets it. Hey, remember the game versus Clemson, too? That was a big game for them. They were 19-point dogs in that. He was awesome. They won that game outright. And you know what? He made big plays down the stretch. This is not your typical third-string quarterback. I think he has a lot to prove.
I like Nate Peterman. I liked him a lot with the 5th-round draft pick that the Buffalo Bills made with him. And I also told people he might be the starting quarterback of the future for the Buffalo Bills. He's one of these kids, I don't want to compare him to Kirk Cousins because Kirk Cousins...
Actually, a very good comparison.
Yeah.
He has that same type of mentality. It's like me versus the world type.
But I want to say that, because Kirk Cousins has let us down in big games. Kirk Cousins is a scrappy guy.
He is.
He's a competitor. I've defended Kirk Cousins, but there's been big games where Kirk Cousins has not stepped up. All right, he didn't have a good game against the Packers in the playoffs. Cost me like $3,000. Couldn't beat the Carolina Panthers last year on Monday Night Football. All they needed to do was win the damn game, and they were going to get into the playoffs. Couldn't do it. Lost the game to the Giants the week after. Like Kirk Cousins has struggled in big games before, but you hear what I'm going with this. Nate Peterman's a scrappy guy. He might not be the most athletically gifted guy in the world, but
he'll make plays.
He'll throw the ball sidearm if he has to. He'll sort of make plays. He's got good vision. He's got good accuracy. He could use some more zip on his football.
That's a one knock on him. He doesn't have like a huge arm strength.
He's kind of a skinny kid. Yeah. Like he's not a big. He's not. He's actually a little older too.
Nice touch on the ball though. He throws a beautiful long ball.
He does. Yeah, he's got a trick video on YouTube where he's like throwing balls off a balcony and stuff like this. Like, you could probably like throw a ball and tell him, right, Peterman, throw it down.
Apartment 405 over there.
Throw it on the 13th balcony, 13th floor balcony over there. He's good at the trick shots. But he might be the starting quarterback against the Jets. This will be a battle of wills. I'll tell you right now.
Are you confident laying 7 with the Bills?
No.
No way.
Even though I think the Bills will cover.
You do? I think they'll win, but I'm not sure if they're going to cover.
But yeah,
that's a tough game.
But I'll tell you what I do like to bet in this game. The under. Keep digging.
Under. Oh my God, 41.5.
Come on.
You know what final score? 9-3. Somebody. like 12-6. Like I see a lot. You know what? Field goal over prop.
I did a TV hit earlier today on the Fantasy Sports Television Network. Check it out with Mark Lawrence, who was at the IFBC convention in Costa Rica with Mike Cardano. We got betting experts, fantasy experts, and Mike Cardano actually who likes to lay it down. Mike Cardano is a Jet fan. He said the same thing. He goes, final score 9-6.
Yeah, is that what? Yeah, that's what. Like
I said, because this is flying under the radar, though. I'm talking from a bet perspective right now. Okay, oftentimes when you have two crappy offensive teams, you're like, there's no way these guys are going to score, and then boom, there's a million points.
Not this game, though.
But I look at this game, where are the points going to come from? Even if it's Tyrod Taylor at quarterback, or Nate Peterman, or the Jets. One thing about the Bills, and the Bills have had a weird offseason, especially offensively. You know, they trade Sammy Watkins. Tyrod Taylor hasn't looked good. He's been hurt. Jordan Matthews comes over, gets hurt in the first damn practice with the Buffalo Bills. The Bills have had a bad offseason or a bad preseason when it comes to their offense. But the defenses look primo, right? The number one, ranked, the number one unit, so to speak, has looked great in the preseason, the Buffalo Bills.
Want to know why
they're going to shut down the Jets?
This game is going under the number because think about this too. The Jets at the best of times, they'll have those long, methodical crap drives where tick, 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 tick,
run the ball.
They have no teams have big play threats. Hey, maybe McCoy gets 41.5, Gabe. I'm with you. That the play is the under. I don't.
The Buffalo Bills.
There might not be a touchdown in this game.
This is McDermott's first game. Mm-hmm. All right, this is McDermott's first game, and he still haven't won yet, even in the preseason. Mm-hmm. This is his first real game. He knows it's going to be a tough season. We all know, and I'm a Buffalo Bill fan, we all know as Bills fans, and you see they're stockpiling draft picks. We got a ton of draft picks next year, guys. There's still some talent on the defensive side of the football here, but this is a game where the players know they can win, right? They're going to give the ball to LaShawn McCoy 25 times.
Tick, 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 tick,
and they're going to give the ball to Jonathan Williams another 15 times, if not more. The Buffalo Bills are going to run the ball maybe 50 times in this football game. Word of no lie, all right? And the Jets, they have no one to throw to. They're going to get killed. McCown's going to get killed. The Bills have a good pass rush. Both teams are going to run the clock. Tick, 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 Cam. Yeah. I love the under 41.5. This is a big bet. I'm going to take it. And I just took the Bills and the Ravens under the number in the preseason last week, and I cashed that. Cash it again. Under the number.
I like it. I'll take it straight up. I'll take the Jets +7. I'll take the under 41.5. I'm with my boy, and I'll tell you something, Gabe. The old Morency teaser, he might tease Buffalo down to pick under 48.5. Now that's a lot of points.
I like
under.
It. I like it.
No, but we're going straight up on the under.
All right. So from a survivor perspective, I'll tell you guys right now.
Don't take this game.
If Tyrod Taylor's playing, I'm taking this game. And if
Naderman starts,
I'm taking this game.
Wow.
I'm going to do it.
That's big.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. $100, you wager, survivor pool, week 1 pick, the Buffalo Bills. Circle the wagons, baby.
Wow, that wasn't in the script.
Circle the wagons. I'm taking the Buffalo Bills. What script? I got no script.
I got nothing there. I was just looking at the games going, nope. Anyway, I'm telling you, Gabe,
it's ballsy.
It's very ballsy.
Buffalo Bills win, let's say 13-3. I think they even cover for good measure.
Really? Yeah. I'd take the points with the Jets.
No, let's say more. Nate Peterman throws 1 touchdown.
16.
McCoy runs for a touchdown. They kick a field goal.
16-10?
17-6.
I need 17-12.
It's going under the number. You're going to take the.
I cannot lay 7 points with the Buffalo Bills.
Well, it doesn't mean
even against the Jets.
Doesn't mean you're forced to take the Jets.
Oh, I have a lean to the Jets in the game with the points, Gabe. I do love the under, though. The under is where it's at in that game.
People say, you only bet the overs, Morency.
No, he takes an under every now and then.
Well, I like it. All right, speaking of overs, this next game, I do like the overs.
This could be the game of the week.
Yeah, I gave an NFL pick like 2 months ago, the way too early NFL picks on TV, and I gave this game to go over the number. It's sitting at an even 51 right now over at youwager.eu. And don't forget, guys, you got to enter this Survivor contest over at YouWager by September the 10th.
Was it 50K to the winner?
50K.
That's amazing.
Yeah, solid. Really that's 50K. Life-changing money.
That is.
Me and Cam were just talking before this podcast started.
Buying property.
About buying property and,
Horse ownership's been tough. Maybe we'll go to property.
Yeah, the horse.
I can tell you one thing: we're not buying another horse.
Yeah, the horse ownership business—that's another story I don't want to get into right now.
Tough times.
But listen, if I won the $50,000 at YouWager, I could buy a house in Costa Rica.
Oh, yeah.
Or I could buy a condo over at the Palms in Las Vegas, or both.
Maybe. Yeah, that sounds
A
great.
little bit of both.
That's the beautiful thing. You can broadcast from anywhere, buddy.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, this game, I'm with you on
It's going over. It's 51.
Tennessee minus 1.5, total 51. I got to believe it's going over. And I don't know. Like, what do you think about the side in this game? Do you like the Oakland Raiders to come into the gate hot?
I like the Titans.
I do like the Titans as well. I think the Titans will get it done against Oakland in a very, very, very high-scoring, tough game. I could see a 31-27 type of game leaning Tennessee.
I know you think the Raiders are a little bit overhyped coming into this year.
I do. I do think the Raiders are overhyped. Everyone talks about how great their defense is. It's actually not as good as everyone thinks. They won a lot of squeakers last year. What about the Mexico game with Lasergate? The Raiders are not as good as everyone thinks they are. Sure, they have a good offense. I'll tell you something. Kansas City, I like more than the Raiders in that division. They're actually to the plus money to win the division. Sign me up, Gabe. I'm going with the Titans week 1. I think you are too, and I'm going to be betting against the Raiders, I think, a lot this year. I think they're a hype team.
Yeah, you know what, the Raiders, I think the Raiders are still a good football team.
They are, but they're way over. People love them too much.
I spoke with Dave Malinsky, and one of the best in the business, Dave Malinsky, the professor. You can read his column over at sportsbookreview.com on a daily basis. And he said, the Raiders technically might actually be a better football team this year, but they're going to win less games.
Yep.
And hear us out on this. The Raiders won 12 games last year. Are the Raiders going to win 13 this year?
Impossible.
Are they with a tougher schedule? They got a hard schedule, guys. You look at the Raiders' schedule down the stretch, last 6 weeks, tough, real tough. That's what happens when you go 12-4.
Yeah.
So you got a harder schedule. And you look at the Raiders, you mentioned it, all those close wins last year. They had a point differential, Cam, of 31 points in 16 games.
With a 12-4 record.
It was the smallest winning margin
Good
of
ball.
any 12-win team in the history of the National Football League. So by definition, the math, the bounces.
It's kind of like water finds its level.
Yeah.
They're not going to be as good. They're not going to get those wins. Some of those bounces are going to go against them.
You better hope Carr don't get hurt.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Enjoy your backup situation.
Yeah. E.J. Manuel and Connor Cook.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing cooking in that kitchen. Cupboard's bare there.
You hate Spartan quarterbacks.
Yeah, and I actually like Connor Cook coming out of college.
he's
I
all
can't lie. You know what's funny? The Dallas Cowboys wanted to take Connor Cook. They were going to take him, but the Raiders took him one pick before they took Dak Prescott.
Yeah. Sometimes things just work out.
It's like a fantasy football league draft.
Exactly.
Some of you think you love your team. Sometimes you can hate your team. You never really know about your team until they start playing. That's the truth.
It's very true.
That's the truth. All right, so yeah, this game, listen.
Track me.
It's not a survivor game. That's a ballsy survivor pick. It's 1.5. Tennessee Titans favored by 1.5. Total's 51. I don't see how this game stays under the number. I really don't.
No, it goes over.
The Raiders could beat them, though. I didn't like what I saw from the Titans against the Bears in the dress rehearsal the other day.
I'm going to say there's a lot of better games on the board to bet, but if you're going to do
total,
something,
the
the total is what you take, not the side in that football game. Look at this other next game. It's close, too.
Well, this a lot of close ones on the board. This other one I also think is a higher scoring game, and this other one is not a good survivor game.
No.
The Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Redskins. A little NFC East action to start the season. Division game. It's interesting. Eagles +1, youwager.eu. Washington Redskins -1, total 47.5. As Ted Safransky says, I like this game to go over
the number.
Yes, over. This is going to be a high-scoring game as well, Cam.
I can tell you, I know we should call the show the YouWager teaser, guys, but I'll tell you, if you get that one, when you look at the spread and you're getting Philly +1, you do that 7-point teaser to +8, and that's a key number in that game. Plus, you knock the total down from 47.5 to 40.5. Sign me up.
Here's another game.
I know I'm getting a lot of birds this week. I have a slight lean to the Eagles in this game.
Nobody's getting blown out of this.
No.
Like, this game is, they're going to go trade touchdowns back and
forth. I can see 28-27, 31-30. Like, I could see like a real, last possession wins. Give me the pooch.
I lean with the visitors here.
Yeah, I do. I'm on the Eagles. I like that.
I'm high on the Eagles this year.
I think they're underrated.
I think they're going to be.
Wentz is going to have a good year.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
They have a good offense, these guys, the Eagles.
Washington's not. They're a smoke and mirrors team, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the Redskins are regressing as well.
Oh, big time.
Listen, you have a situation where Kirk Cousins is your quarterback. Oh, you lost Pierre Garçon. Nobody cares about that, but he was reliable. You bring in Terrell Pryor, okay. Deshaun Jackson's gone. You replace him with John Doxson, who's always freaking hurt.
Yeah, he might not. Yeah, that's another.
Jordan Reed's always hurt. James.
How's their running game?
Kelly and Thompson.
No thanks.
That's a weak backfield.
Non-existent.
Kelly's all right.
This is a team I think.
Crowder's a good player, but
he is.
And the thing is too, they haven't looked in sync. And also, I'm just talking from a mental standpoint here too, Cam. They keep on franchising tag Kirk Cousins because they don't want to give him a long-term deal. So you have a blatant situation here where the quarterback, the coach, the fans, everybody in the damn stadium knows he's not going to be on the team next year.
Exactly.
Right? So where's the cohesiveness? And
I see the Redskins as a team that really...
I think they're a last-place team in this division.
You know what? I agree with you 100%. I think the Eagles will have a better record than the Redskins this year. Give me Philly +1 week 1. And I love that. +8. I do not love +8 over 40.
I don't think the Eagles are going to win this division this year. But I think they're going to be there's going to be a time, like they're going to hang around.
You know what? This division, everyone's going to beat up each other.
Yeah. Now Dallas without Elliott and stuff, it's going to be a high-scoring, lot of points
Redskins will be last in that division. I'm with you.
Yeah, but as far as a Survivor is concerned, you can't take a 1-point game. But I do like the over. We're talking about the teasers. Love the teasers as well. Pittsburgh Steelers. So now we get to the Survivor game here.
Yeah.
And Deshaun Kaiser has been named the starting quarterback.
Well, that's enough for me.
Is that more? Does that make you more inclined to like Pittsburgh or less inclined?
More inclined.
Than it was with Brock Osweiler.
Yeah, I think Kaiser.
Not that they would have won with Brock, but
here's the thing about Kaiser: he'll make a couple nice plays, and he'll make a couple huge mistakes in that game. Like Cleveland will have a nice drive, throw a pick six. I'm telling you, I don't like to do divisional games with these Survivor pools. I'm telling you, Gabe. I like Pittsburgh. I think they'll get it done. I don't think there's any way humanly possible if Cleveland can win that game, even at home.
Deshaun Kaiser used to make mistakes.
At Notre Dame.
Yeah, and this was just last year. And you called it, Ken. You're bang on. The thing with Deshaun Kaiser is he's athletic, and I think he's got a great future, actually.
He's got a wicked cannon.
Yeah, I think he's got a good future, but I think they're making a big mistake in starting.
They're going to know what they're going to do.
Why are you forcing this kid out?
You're screwing up the kid's head.
Exactly. You're going to get this kid killed. He's going to throw 9 interceptions in the first 3 weeks.
And then there goes...
And then what? Then you're going to put Osweiler in? Osweiler's not even your guy. You brought him in. You pay him the $17 million for the year. He's your tackling dummy. You let him get beat up by Pittsburgh. You let him get beat up. And then you wait till you play the Jets. And then you're like, all right, Deshaun Kaiser starting against the Jets. Exactly. Like, you throw this kid there in week 1.
He could be a tackling dummy.
Yeah, like, seriously.
No, honestly.
Like, really, your worst games against the freaking Pittsburgh Steelers?
Here's the thing, Cleveland. Haven't you ever learned? Want to know why you suck? Because you do stuff like this. Young players, you're already a fragile organization. You don't throw a kid like that out there and feed him to the wolves. I'm with you. Give me Pittsburgh.
Like, even the Bears aren't doing it. Like, they're like, all right, we want to start Trubisky, but we don't want to get the kid massacred against the Falcons in week 1 and, like, get his confidence shaken. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the move, and I agree. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are a good Survivor play. Moneyline parlay, teasers. Deshaun Kaiser's not going to beat them.
No, he cannot.
Like you said, he might throw a bomb, and people are going to go, oh, my God, look at Deshaun Kaiser. He's making plays.
Enjoy the pick six.
Yeah, and there's going to be a pick six. He's going to get fumbled. He's going to fumble the ball. He's going to get sacked. He's going to fumble. Exactly.
You know what I see? The Pittsburgh Steelers winning 26-3. Like, did you see? Like, you know what I mean? Like an old.
The total's 47.
Yeah, I like under. I like the under in that football game. Pittsburgh could score 30, and it's still going under.
We've talked a lot of fantasy from DraftKings perspective coming into the year, and everyone's on like Ben Roethlisberger, Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown. I tell people,
get off them.
It's not going to be a track meet. Pittsburgh could win this game 23-3.
Yeah, that's what I say. Under.
Yeah, 26-10. They've got nothing to prove, Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? They just want to get out of there. Pittsburgh are an old team. Ben Roethlisberger's always a hit away from retirement right now. Le'Veon Bell hasn't practiced at all. He's going to be back. They're going to throw him on the field. They're not going to want to take chances. This is almost like a preseason game for Pittsburgh. They know, let's just hand the ball off to Le'Veon Bell 17 times, throw him a couple of passes, throw it to Brown. Don't get Ben injured against Cleveland in week 1. So they're not going to be looking to run up the score or score a million points in this game.
Nope.
I agree with your under selection.
Yeah, get under, yeah. They're going to, I love it.
The only thing that concerns me is Pittsburgh could score a boatload.
They might. The problem is it'll go.
What if Deshaun Kaiser
throws 3 picks? That's the thing. That's the only way the game goes over. No, but I'm willing to take my chances.
Game opens. Le'Veon Bell runs for 78-yard touchdown. Deshaun Kaiser throws a pick six.
It's 14-0, 40 seconds in.
And then by midway through the fourth, it's like 44-14. You know what I mean? Like
that could happen. But I think it's going to be 26-3.
So and I know you've got a sheet here. You've ranked the games.
Yeah.
So Pittsburgh's got to be right. Is it
number one? It's my number one game.
Is Atlanta number 2? From a Survivor perspective?
I have Atlanta as number 3. Right. I have New England as 2 even. But you know me. You know me and the Patriots? No thanks.
All right, so let's get into some of the later games right now. Your Seattle Seahawks.
What you got to like that. Is that not a nice slate there?
What a game.
That's nice.
What a game.
I'm telling you, Gabe.
So, let's look. So, out of the 1 o'clock games here, we talk from a betting perspective.
Here's another thing. Can you put more games at 4? What are these guys doing in this
league? They made the feature game. So,
I know.
What are you watching here at 1 o'clock on Sunday? We're watching them all, but what's on the main screen?
Oakland, Tennessee.
Yeah. For me, I'm a Buffalo Bill fan.
For excitement, Arizona, Detroit might have some fireworks, though. And you'll have the Bills game on.
I'll have the Bills on.
Yeah.
The Raiders game, the Titans game, the Cardinals game, and the Falcons game. Any other ones I'll sort of be checking in on. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'll be watching them all, but I'll be sort of checking in.
It would have been nice if they had it. Like, look, you have 2 games at 4 o'clock. Couldn't you make 4?
Yeah, you should.
Come on, NFL. Like, you need to give people more in the second slot.
Yeah, but they made Seattle, Green Bay. It's their.
I understand though, Gabe, but like, there's a lot. I'm just saying, you can. People love the action. Just give me 4. But anyway, that's the way they do it.
Well, you know what it is actually. Why this affects it too? Because they have the 2 games on Monday night.
That's correct.
They don't. Usually they don't have a Monday night doubleheader.
Good call.
All right.
And man, I'm looking for an excuse to take the Seahawks, Green Bay at home.
Love the over this game. This game's going to be a freaking track.
Actually, this is the game where I think both teams.
Both these guys going to go up and down the field. Yeah. Russell Wilson has looked awesome in the preseason. The Seahawks have looked really good. Mm-hmm. So do I. He's my quarterback too, and I drafted Jimmy Graham. I stacked him. Russell Wilson's looked great. Yeah, the offensive line isn't much better than last year. It's a little better. But Russell Wilson is muscular now. He's a little faster. He's a little chubbier last year. And, I don't know. You didn't see him 100% committed last year to me.
Let's remember one thing
He's got a chip on his shoulder this year.
I'm telling you, Gabe, let's remember one thing about the Seahawks,
even his own teammates question him.
No, he looks better. He looks you remember he's got that fun kind of, hey, life's great face?
Yeah.
Now it's anger saying, screw off. Yeah. That Super Bowl loss to the Patriots pissing me off. I'm going to be back. He's serious. Remember, Earl Thomas.
Some of the teammates were like, dude, just go hang out with Seattle, your new girlfriend, and do your Microsoft commercials. You don't care.
People don't understand the importance of Earl Thomas, and they've been a totally different team in the preseason. Seattle, the Legion of Boom looks back. They know they got 1 or 2 more kicks at the game before this team gets older. I'm telling you, I have a slight lean to Seattle in this game, but Green Bay at home is very tough. But the
window for the Seahawks team is 2 years, maybe 1 year.
I'm thinking 1 year.
Yeah,
one more year.
They seem to know it, and Pete Carroll sort of got it through. Pete Carroll told them, we need to get back to playing smash-mouth physical Seahawks football.
Yeah,
exactly.
Be the bullies that
I've noticed in the preseason, they sort of have that swagger back again. And Russell Wilson,
looks
unstoppable, guys. He's throwing bullets down the field. Bullets. But then you got the Green Bay Aaron Rodgers.
He always throws bullets, too.
And the Packers are actually healthy for once coming into the year. They got Devontae Adams. They got Jordy Nelson, Ty Montgomery, Jamal Williams, Aaron Rodgers.
I'm going to do it again, buddy. Seattle plus 10 over 42.5. How do you say no?
Disagree.
These teasers are fun, but anyway, I'll take the 3 points with Seattle and the over with the tease.
Can't disagree.
No, you can't disagree.
I like that.
It sounds great to me.
I love the tease over to 42.
Yeah, big time.
Love the tease to over 42.
I think I might have a home pooch on my
It's not a survivor pool game, though, this.
No, God, no. You'd be insane to take Seattle or Green Bay.
All right, some people, are they going to take the Carolina Panthers? And I think you've got a live dog here. Do you, Cam? This is the one you like?
Yeah.
The San Francisco 49ers and Kyle Shanahan's debut. youwager.eu. Point spread right now. Carolina Panthers -6. Total 48.
I'm going to tell you something. You know what the San Francisco 49ers do well? Opening weeks. They always
won 6 in a row. Outright.
Yeah.
Outright.
And remember, when Carolina played San Francisco, when Cam and the rest of this team was at their height, San Francisco hung in the game all game long. They're going to be feisty this year. I told you with Lynch, I don't lay 6 points with Carolina. Hey, Give me San Francisco on the points, Gabe. I think it's going to be a real scrappy game. I think they maybe lose by a last-second field goal. Don't be surprised if San Francisco hangs around games. Lots of good veterans on their team.
I think the under.
I think the under is the play at 48. Too.
I think
no points in that game.
This is an old-school smash-mouth football game.
I see a 17-16 football game where people get hurt.
Carolina are a smash-mouth team. San Francisco want to be a smash-mouth team. I tell you, San Francisco is playing with a lot of aggression on D. That John Lynch attitude. Reuben Foster's look great.
He looks amazing.
Yeah, explosive. They're hitting hard. They're tackling hard. San Francisco's a year or two away, guys. They're going to be a good team again. I think, I'm starting to buy in on Carolina a little bit, though, this year as well, Cam. I think this is a close football game. I'm not ready to
Would you take the points? I would take the 6 points.
I'm not ready to lay 6.
Yeah, me neither.
I think Carolina probably wins. I'm going to pass on this game. But I think Carolina will win the game.
I think the under is worth a really good look, though. The under 48 might be the play in this game.
All right, so now we get into Monday night football. We've got a doubleheader, and I got to tell you, Cam.
I can tell you something about this game, buddy. You know where I'm going?
I know, but
I am going somewhere.
Hold on.
Actually, you talk.
I gave the Minnesota Vikings
Yep.
on TV earlier in this year when I was doing the season previews as one of the best bets. They're going to go over 8.5 wins. They're going, and I like the win total. They're going to go over 8.5 wins. I said not only that, though, they're going to win double-digit games. They're going to be a playoff team. I haven't loved the way that their offense has looked in the preseason. But I'm not abandoning ship on the Vikings. I still think I have a lot of faith in Mike Zimmer. I think he's one of the best coaches in the National Football League. Anyone that gambles on football, and if you're watching this, you know that Mike Zimmer and the Vikings are one of the best ATS teams in the league. With all that being stated, I think we might be on the same page here, Cam. I'm liking this explosive offense. I don't know how the Vikings are going to be able to keep up with them.
I think the Saints.
I like the 3.5.
Yeah, youwager.eu. Saints plus 3.5 in my card. Saints money line on my card. I'm going to tell you, Gabe.
I hate going against the Vikings like this.
But it's only week 1. The Vikings are going to start slow and get stronger. But I'm telling you, the Saints come out of the gate with a purpose. You cannot lay 4 with Minnesota. I might make this one of my better plays of the week. Give me the Saints. I think they get it. I think they're going to win outright.
The thing is with this football game is, listen, we know that the Vikings have a decent defense. They have an elite defense. Yet nobody stops the Saints. And weather's not a factor at this time of the year, right?
Yep.
So weather's not a factor, plus they play in that dome. I don't even know if it opens or whatever. I think it opens or whatever the hell, that glass ceiling thing.
How does this game not go over 48? Don't you like the over in that game? Don't you think both teams can score?
Can the Vikings score points?
Actually, that's why I like the Saints out.
I'm
more worried about the Vikings.
It's an offensive league now, guys. And I like the Vikings in games where they can clamp down and shut down another team's offense. You're not going to do that to the Saints. It's week 1. They're not beat up on the road yet. The game is indoors. It's perfect conditions. The weather's not a factor. And I'm just wondering, it's like, all right, the Vikings, you guys are really good on defense. Drew Brees is still going to get his. He's still going to freaking score. Can you guys score? Can you keep up?
You know what the thing about the Saints is, too? All their little rookies, like underrated weapons on the depth chart, they're gonna sprinkle these guys in. I'm telling you, Gabe, Kamara from Tennessee is actually going to do some things. I love this team. We talk about Thomas. He is going to blow it up. The Saints can score, and their defense is getting better. Remember, Vaccaro was hurt last year. He was the best guy in their secondary.
Suspended.
He's a killer. And I'll tell you something, whole different defense when he's healthy. Watch out. Give me the Saints. I love this game. I have no faith in Minnesota covering a field goal, a 3.5.
Yeah, Vaccaro was hurt, and then he also got suspended for Adderall.
I like that guy.
He's a big key, Kenny Vaccaro, to that defensive backfield. I think the Saints defense, I know, Cam, you're buying into the Saints coming into this year.
Yeah, I am.
So am I. I think the Saints are a dangerous football team.
Very dangerous.
Their offense is going to be lethal. Michael Thomas is a superstar. Willie Snead's going to have a nice year.
Mm-hmm.
Their ground game is deep, as Cam mentioned. You got Kamara, you got Adrian Peterson, you got
Ingram,
you got Mark Ingram, you got Drew Brees, a quarterback who's thrown 32 or more touchdown passes in 9 consecutive years. Their defense was putrid last year. They can only get better.
They are going to get
and they've got some talent on the defensive side of the football now a little bit. Listen, the Vikings can win this game, but it's going to be tough for them. I
don't know how. If they win, it'll be by 3. I'll take the hook. Give me New Orleans plus 3.5.
All right, and finally, in closing, the last NFL game of the week.
There's another one. I'm going to surprise you on this one, too.
I'm leading with the favorite here.
I think Denver is going to make a statement.
Yeah.
I've watched San Diego games. I'll tell you, Los Angeles Charger games. People, the Los Angeles Chargers, have you seen their offensive line? Phillip Rivers is going to get killed. And one thing we know, he's not very mobile. If he doesn't get that ball off, You know what? Denver makes a statement against their divisional rival and pummels them. I like the Broncos to cover 3.5.
I'm a creature of habit, and I bet the same game, same matchup, same rivalries on a yearly basis because I know them. And I've been betting the Chargers versus the Broncos for years. We're always getting 7. We're always getting 7. Even with decent Charger teams, they go to Denver, it's never 3.5. What the hell is it 3.5 for? If it was 3.5 with Paxton Lynch, I'd be like, all right, I don't want this. Trevor Simeon's just fine. 3.5, I think this number's too low.
Way too low. You know what Denver's defense is going to do to the Chargers? Phillip Rivers is going to get hurt in this game, and it's week 1. I'm telling you, Denver at minus 3.5 I love this play.
Total's 44, pretty accurate number.
I think that game can go under. But yeah, no, I have no real opinion other than the side. Give me Denver.
All right, Cam. So let's recap a little bit from a Survivor perspective. What were your top? What was your list? What was your top?
My
5?
top list. I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers. We got Pittsburgh at number 1. We have the New England Patriots versus Kansas City at number 2. We got Atlanta. I'm not sure you're not taking that one at 3. I have, actually, you know what the funny thing is? I had Houston ranked number 4, and I guess the Buffalo Bills would be ranked number 5, but I'm going to tell you.
Ballsy Buffalo!
But no, it won't be on my list, though. I'm going to go.
Instead of the Buffalo Bills, the Buffalo Balls.
No, it is big ones. I'll tell you, no, I'm going to keep it safe this weekend, Gabe. I'm telling you, I got to go with Pittsburgh. Sorry, Deshaun Kaiser. I think I don't think there's any way humanly possible Cleveland can win that football game. And then I'll worry about next week. What do you say, buddy?
Yeah, you know.
Are you really going to go with the Bills? Like, yes. It's a Bulls pick, but I'm just saying. Okay.
Listen, I'm telling you right
That's how much you hate the Jets this year.
No, I think the Jets are terrible.
They are too.
I'm going to be in a few. I suggest, if push comes to shove, I would say the Chicago Bears are not beating the Atlanta Falcons.
That's another good one. Yep.
Yeah. But I like your Pittsburgh one. I like your Pittsburgh. I can't disagree. The only thing is everybody's going to be on it.
I know, but then we just advance to week 2 and we worry about it later.
Yeah, Deshaun Kaiser's not winning in his first game. Like that's not happening.
Cue the tape. Ben Roethlisberger gets knocked out of the game. Landry Jones loses to Cleveland. Great.
All right, so we've got some college football this week, Cam. College started last week, but we got some big-time football games. And when I talk about big-time
great
games,
week by you to open things up.
5-2 last week.
Really good picks.
The Michigan Wolverines minus 3.5 at YouWager, total 44.5 against the Florida Gators.
I know
both coaches are screwing around here, not announcing who their starting quarterback is going to be. The Florida Gators, they're without their leading wide receiver, Callaway. He's suspended for a couple of games, or at least the opening game, team violations, whatever the hell that means. You know, team violations depends on the school. Some schools, it means you were late for class. Some school means, you sexually assaulted somebody.
Exactly.
If that's Baylor or something like that. Screw you, Art Browse.
Yeah, no job, Art.
See, that didn't take long.
We called that one last night. Like, I wish we could have bet on that. Anyway, Gabe.
So Michigan and Florida, what are you doing with this one?
I can tell you something. I like Michigan. I know you're a Michigan guy. I don't believe the Gators' offense can do anything in that football game. I think the Wolverines are going to be a much better team. Hey, they already beat this Florida team in a bowl game and embarrassed them
2 years ago.
2 years ago. I guess Florida has some kind of revenge angle.
Michigan are better.
Michigan will win that game, and I know you like overs a lot of the time. I like the under in this football
I'm not touching a total here.
I like Michigan to the under. I don't know how Florida scores.
It's 44.5, which is freaking low for a college game.
Under.
Freaking low for a college game.
Michigan will win that game 24-10.
All right, the big game of the week, obviously, is Florida State Seminoles. This is technically, I'm not going to say it's the best game ever to open a season.
It's pretty good, though.
But technically it is. Number 1 versus number 3 have never played each other this early.
Yeah, it's
like the combined rankings of 4 is the highest, the best ever for an opening game type of deal for anyone. Like, no one opens up 1 versus 2, and so 1 versus 3 like this. So technically it's the highest ranked game ever to open up a season. Florida State Seminoles. This is in the Atlanta Falcons' new stadium where they have those nice cheap prices.
Oh yeah,
$5 a beer.
Beautiful stadium.
$2 a
great
Coke.
Prices. Yeah, we're paying what, $14 for a beer?
I'd love to. I wish I was at this game. I'd get hammered.
Exactly. good value.
But you know what? I'll be in Vegas getting hammered.
How do you lean Alabama? I think you got to take Bama in this.
I'll tell you, I'm going to put $500 to $1,000
on the over.
On the over 49 here. People always think, Alabama, their defense and all this other stuff. Their defense is rock solid. Yeah, Alabama's offense averages 39 points a game. You got Jalen Hurts back. The kid was a freshman last year. All right, Jalen Hurts is back. He's going to be even better.
Bo Scarborough?
Bo Scarborough leads a talented corp of running backs back there. Calvin Ridley is the next in line of the Julio Joneses and the Coopers to be a big-time NFL draft pick. Calvin Ridley will be a big NFL draft time pick.
Poor Darius Stewart. He went to the Jets.
Right, and Darius Stewart, yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
He's gonna go back. Can I come back to Bama, coach? That's a tough spot. What do you think? You like the over in this game?
Love the over. And listen, the one thing defensively, what's given Alabama fits over the years? Mobile quarterbacks.
Correct.
Deshaun Watson, Cam Newton, Johnny Manziel, Tim Tebow.
Yep.
DeAndre Francois and the Florida State offense will be able to move the ball. They're going to play an up-tempo game. That's how you beat Alabama. Alabama have a lot of big dudes on their team. Me and Malinsky talked about this on TV earlier in the week. Alabama have a lot of big guys, and Nick Saban likes to be the boss and substitute and call plays in. And Clemson, Dabo Sweeney figured this out. He goes, don't let them substitute. Let's go with the no huddle and hurry up. Plus, Alabama defensive linemen are always really big, fat guys, and they get worn out, and your mobile quarterback can run around them and stuff.
You know what it sounds to me?
Florida State are going to do this.
I think you got to slightly into Florida State +7 to the over.
It's
hard to bet against Bama.
Game.
But you're getting a full touchdown with a good Florida. Like Florida State is a damn good football team.
You know what I said?
And it's not a home game for Alabama.
I said the same thing in the neutral field game last year in Week 1 with USC getting 9.5. They lost 38-0 or 48-0.
That's true.
I remember saying the same thing, getting Michigan plus 10.5 in this opener. Alabama every year they get this opener and people say, "Oh, the dog's going to hang around," and Alabama
find a way. They find ways to cover numbers.
I got to tell you, I like a Alabama Michigan teaser. Get Michigan up to plus 3.5.
Yep.
Or if you want to switch this up, little money line parlay action, you get them into the plus money range. You can take a look into these other dogs before you wrap it up. Western Michigan and USC minus 27. Western Michigan lost their coach. They lost their quarterback. They lost their star wide receiver, Corey Davis. Is USC going to tattoo him?
I don't think they will. That number looks about right. The one dog I'm actually looking at, just right off the top, what about Appalachian State plus 14.5 against Georgia? The Georgia Bulldogs, they don't cover a lot of games.
I like Georgia coming into the year.
No, they win greasy
tough game.
They win greasy games. That's too many points, man. It's like we talk about what was the Portland State game versus BYU.
Yeah,
it's very, very. I'm telling you, take the dog in that
State,
matchup.
They're loaded. They got a ton of returning.
Sorry,
starters.
Georgia, you're not going to beat App State by 15. I'll take App State.
Can give you all you can handle. They're plus 14.5.
That's something I'm looking at.
I'm going to be, here's Purdue and Louisville, 68.5. Should be a ton of points.
Oh, yeah. There's no defense in that football game. None.
UMass and Coastal Carolina, 2.5.
What, the Minutemen and Chanticleers? Pass.
It's a horrible game.
That's horrible. I can't believe it's on the board. What about Troy getting 11 against Boise State? That's caught my eye as well.
I know. I'm tempted by Nevada plus 23.5, but don't love it.
That's tough.
That's
a tough one.
Our best college bet of the day, Florida State, Alabama, over 49. Over 49. UTEP and Oklahoma, 62.5. We're getting 17.5 with Temple at Notre Dame.
I will take Temple. Ooh. Give me the Owls. You know what? That line's too big.
All right, here's a few, actually. Here's a few. Here's one. Son of a, though. I didn't realize it was going to be 5. NC
State's favored by 5. Wow,
they're a good team, NC State, this year, though.
And the Gamecocks, not so much.
All right. California and North Carolina, over 55.5. Yeah, YouWager. I like that to go over the number. But
what about North Carolina? Do you think they can...
I don't want to mess with it. Too many points. We're going to tread cautiously with college. We started off the season 5-2. You can follow me on Twitter for my final college picks. Twitter.com/SportsRage. And I give my picks every Friday on the Fantasy Sports Network YouTube page. Check out FantasySportsNetwork.com or check out the YouTube page, Fantasy Sports. His Twitter, Cam Stewart Live. And now that your Twitter should be called Cam Stewart Dead.
Yeah, I know.
Because you're never on it. But now the football season.
No, I made a commitment. I'm now. It's a week before the season. I'm getting back.
You got to get on it and tell people about the youwager.eu Survivor Pool.
$50,000.
$50,000 to the winner. It's a $100 entry. Up to $50,000. They're kicking back in 80% of the total take, but it's expected to be $50,000. Me and Cam are going to be playing in this because I want to win the damn thing. I want to win $50,000, and I think I can. breaking it down. So you've been watching You Wager this week. We'll be back with you next week, and we'll talk about the NFL games from a betting perspective. We'll lock in our final bets and talk some more Survivor action with you guys. Don't forget, if you're not a member of YouWager yet, become one. Check them out, youwager.eu. Sign up right now, and don't forget to enter into the Survivor pool, $50,000 at stake. Other than that, you're on your own. May the winners be yours.